I have some projects that I've been working on. Uh, so you can see I got my well parameters of the script. And essentially what we did here was build out a calculator. And I wanted the calculator to actually be able to kind of filter itself out. And so when I was done with this project, basically we'll start here. If I go to VS Code, Visual Studio Code, come here. And if we come here, do this, we'll open it with a live server. And we get this. So let's come here. Let's say stainless steel and 1.4 gauge, 2 argon, 30x, 035, and we get the parameters. So that was this project. Fairly straightforward project. Didn't take a long time to do it, but it was something that I wanted to work through, and we did it. As simple as that. I have another project for this Captivate Wine project. This is for a seminar that I'm doing at the end of August for looking at adaptive learning. So we have that. But that's what we're looking at here. But I'm going to start a new project here, and I'm going to do a project focusing on my content creation strategy for this channel. So we're going to say the quick so we're going to come up. Okay. All right. So we're going to come here, and we will come in and we will bring in my overall. We'll drop this in here. Okay, real simple. So we have our content strategy, and let's start asking some questions about this. Let's go. Okay. So you can see that it's going through the strength. We get some weakness, potential overwhelm. The strategy covers a wide range of topics. It might overwhelm the beginners for the lead of lack of depth in some areas. So absence of risk mitigation. There's no mention of how to handle potential controversial or ethical concerns related to AI and storytelling. So no clear content update strategy. Strategy doesn't address how to keep content relevant to AI technology rapidly evolving. So we can see that we have some weaknesses here. And let's say I wanted to focus. Okay. So let's say that you can see that we have some strength. We got the overwhelming. And then let's say that AI, I don't want my channel to be so focused on just AI because the channel is called Quick Start Creative. So what if we looked at the strategy here and said, oh, but the intersection of technology and creativity. Spelled technology wrong, but so let's say we want to do that and we want to focus my channel. Now, here is the second thing that I think what people were looking at when they talked about the Claude update. This here is called artifacts. And it is taking what you have, what you would expect to come into the chat, and moving it over here to the side. This is really helpful because what you're seeing is that it's giving you kind of an overview while at the same time giving you the content. So this is one of those things where we can look and see, like, this is really good. I mean, and you can either copy it, you can add to a current project. So if I wanted to move this over somewhere, I can come over here and add it to the project. So now it becomes part of the, I guess you can say, the knowledge base. So I love that part of it. Then we can copy it, or you can, let's say, do a markdown file. So let's come here and download it. And if we open it, you can see now this is a markdown file. So this here, the idea of taking this information, adding it to your knowledge base, downloading it as a markdown file, or just copying it and moving it somewhere to a text file, this is something that I find is very helpful. But here's another thing that Claude can do. Let's see. So we're going to create a pie chart. Okay. So what it does is it creates the code. Now, I will say this. It creates the code, and then we have our breakdown. So these are the things that really make Claude kind of a standout product. Very helpful. This here, I think these two things, the artifact and the projects, has elevated Claude as to my go-to chat tool now. I still use ChatGPT because I think ChatGPT does some things better. Specifically, when I'm doing research, I think Claude writes better. I think this artifact is better. I think the project, it makes it better. I think it codes better. I do think Claude will code better than ChatGPT, because if I were to, if I were to simply take this code and let's take it to ChatGPT. All right, so I'm going to give it the code and tell it to remove all of this and give me just the top 3 contents. Okay, so you can see it gave me the content, but it doesn't actually show me what it looks like. Okay, whereas if I take the code back over to Claude, okay. Okay. That is the difference. Okay, so this is the part where we're talking about what the difference is. You know, I see the code, of course, and I could simply move it over, run a React, let's say, come to VS Code and open up a local server and run this. But having the ability to see the code and see the result in something like this, I think it's just a game changer for me. So ChatGPT is still in the mix. I'm not one to say that the projects is equivalent to a GPT, because a GPT I would send out to the world. Whereas this, sharing it with other team members and just internally working through different projects, I think this is an internal tool that I'll use for myself. Whereas a GPT, that is something I would share with others. When it comes to large amounts of data, I think Google AI Studio has merit. When we're talking about, I'm not sure if it's in here, but we'll talk about the inheritance of thorns. So again, this is a story that I was working with, but the amount of data shared here, you can see 135,000 tokens, and I still have just so much more remaining. This is where I believe Google AI Studio is really helpful. I can upload my entire book to this and work through the book. Now, it doesn't write very well, so I would not use this to write, but it does a good job with analyzing. It does a good job with breaking things down. So this has merit. So at this point, I will say this. Claude is my favorite. It is my number one. ChatGPT, I still use quite a bit. I still use this on a daily basis. And I would say that I'm using Google AI Studio. As you can see, that if you look at my library, there's quite a bit going on here. So I am using this. So I think all three of these have merit. I am not one to say that goodbye ChatGPT or goodbye Google AI Studio. I think each has merit. I think it just depends on how you want to use it and what your use case is. But from a standpoint of writing and coding, I believe Claude has the upper hand. And we will see what GPT-5 does, because I do think that multimodal chat, where we can get audio, images, and text all in one model, I think that's going to be very helpful. And I think that may elevate ChatGPT for a specific use case. And I think that's where it is. So that's my take on this. I really think that Claude is hands down my favorite. ChatGPT and Google AI Studio both have tremendous merit and tremendous use. And I think if you're going to take advantage of AI going forward, you're going to incorporate all three into your work ecosystem. So I'm out.